So on one of my recent dives, me and my buddy were down probably about 120 feet, and then he realized he wasn't going to have enough air to make it all the way back up. So we had proper knowledge of the equipment and the procedures, so we were able to make it back to the top, me sharing air with him so that we would live. Scuba diving is a high-risk activity. Learning the history and the equipment and like what's to come is like a really big part of it, so that you are able to survive and be more prepared. So today I would like to inform you the history, equipment, and the future of scuba diving. Let's go ahead and start with the history. So the history of scuba diving dates all the way back to the 1600s. According to marinebio.org, in the late 16th century, people began to use diving bells supplied with air. So that is this. So as you can see, they would just drop the bell down and there's like windows on it. It's a little pocket of air right here. So there's a little air bubble that they could get in and breathe, and they could get out and swim around and look and then get back in. They couldn't do that for very long, and there wasn't much distance you could go, so that wasn't very effective, but they did that for a long time. And actually in 1843 the Royal Navy even opened up a diving school to teach people how to do that, so that exploration and everything could happen. In 1942, Jacques, along with Emily Kagan, redesigned a car regulator to function as a demand valve, and a device that provides divers with a supply of compressed air delivered with each inhalation. So that's what is used today. It's where whenever you breathe in, you just breathe in, it supplies you air. It's not just constantly pumping air. So it's probably the most efficient way to keep as much air and stay down as long as you can. That's according to historycooperative.org. So the knowledge of the equipment is the most essential in life or death. So diving equipment is not easy to use, so knowing how to use it and things is like really important. So you're going to start with your BCD, which is this, which you wear just like a life jacket. You just put it on and you wear it around your waist and your shoulders and everything. And then behind it is where you put your air tank that holds all your air that you need to breathe. And then connected to that air tank is this, and that will be, it will have 4 hoses coming off of it, and each hose has its purpose. So the first hose goes to the regulator, which is what you breathe from. It's where you get your air. The second hose goes to your backup regulator, which will be a backup. So if your buddy runs out of air, you share that with them, and they can breathe out of it, and you can breathe out of yours, so then you can both use the air at the same time. The third one goes to your dive gauge, which tells you how much air you have left, which is really important. And the fourth one goes to your BCD, so that you can pump it up, so that you can float back to the top or deflate it, go down, or just get it just right so you maintain your neutral buoyancy, so that you can just float along and look and not destroy any coral or anything like that. Next piece of equipment would be your dive watch. And your dive watch is really important because it tells you how deep you are, how deep you've been. It tells you the temperature of the water, how long you've been down. And this stuff's really important because after you finish your dive, you have to go back and log it, and you're supposed to write all that information down, and the watch actually keeps that information, so you don't just have to memorize it, but it tells you everything. It'll tell you about deco stops also, so when nitrogen gets built up in your body, it'll tell you what level underwater you need to stop at and how long, so that the nitrogen bubbles can release, and then you won't get sick or anything like that. So that's a big part of it. So now that you know the equipment, it's important to know the future of diving to see what's to come. And actually in the future, they're making a new helmet that is that. It kind of looks like this. It's still in development, but it has 2 LED lights on top. It's got the regulator and everything inside. It's got your mask built in, so it's a lot of equipment put into one, so you don't have to carry as much. This is really cool. It's got Bluetooth built in, so when you're underwater, you're using hand signals the whole time because you can't talk, but this would allow you to be able to talk so that you can communicate and not have to use hand signals. It also, it's around your ears, so there's no pressure build up, so you don't have to constantly pop your ears or anything, or hopefully you won't have pressure in your ears, so then you wouldn't have to stop and end your dive soon. So that's a big part of that. Basically, as I have told you, knowing the history, understanding the equipment, and being prepared for the future of scuba diving is useful information for anyone that would want to dive or just want to know anything about it. Diving is not for everybody. Although it is considered a lazy sport, it takes a lot of stamina to be able to do that and learn quite a lot. I hope what I have talked about today has taught you a little bit about the world of diving. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Thank you.